Hello, it's Lance, and I'm back with another little story about the Beatles. In my recent video on Bernard Purdie and the Beatles, the comment section was full of, let's call them passionate people. We had Ringo fans and we had Purdie fans, professional drummers and those who can't count to 4. We had racists who thankfully got caught by YouTube's filters, and of course we had Beatles diehards and Beatles haters. But aside from the healthy discourse that was taking place, I noticed that an old, now debunked quote was mentioned a few times. And I wanted to bring it up here on the channel, and like that Bernard Purdie video, let the facts be known. So here's the quote, or the misquote, that we're talking about. Ringo isn't the best drummer in the world. He isn't even the best drummer in the Beatles. And this is attributed to, as he would be permanently typecast, the witty, incisive John Lennon. Now, before I go on, I'll spare us all some drama and tell you that Lennon never said this. I'd include some audio or film here from any purported interview, but surprise, surprise, it doesn't exist, since Lennon never said such a thing. However, because this is the internet, bad information spreads at light speed. And in recent years, garbage, like this meme, pops up on occasion. In the description below, I'll link to the 1966 interview where this screen grab came from. You can watch it for yourself, but trust me, that quote doesn't happen here.
No, that's not true,
The rumor that John said this about Ringo's drumming was quashed by Beatles historian Mark Lewison a few years ago. As he told the LA Times in 2013, the misquote was courtesy of a London newspaper. The London Times newspaper quoted John Lennon famously saying that Ringo wasn't even the best drummer in the Beatles. John Lennon never said that, famously or otherwise. Yet the Lennon link came after the joke had circulated and became the go-to joke for any Ringo critics trying to be clever. But where did it originate? From British comedian and comedy writer Jasper Carrott.
So I bought a Labrador, called Biffa, who is mental. I bought a mental Labrador.
Lewison made the connection in his tune-in book, making it official, I suppose, but there are also online forum posts from circa 2009 that connected the joke to Carrott. I corresponded with Jasper Carrott's management, who reconfirmed the joke was his and said it was just a line in a TV show. It was probably from the Carrott Confidential series sometime between 87 and 89. Other sources have put the timeline closer to 1983.
And now it's time for this week's Carrott Confidential.
For what it's worth, if you want to go deep, and I mean really deep, on potential sources for this, I recommend the post The Man Who Was Nearly a Beatle by John Hoare. Again, I've put a link in the description below. So there you have it. Lennon did not say this and would not have. Same goes for Paul and for George. For instance, here's how they responded after a rift during the White Album sessions.
And I came back and went in the studio, and George had it decked out with flowers. It's just flowers everywhere, and John had sent me telegrams saying, "You're the best rock drummer, come on home."
The now debunked joke might be a cute line if you're not a Ringo fan, but John Lennon was. Hey, thank you so much for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed it. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, please do so. That's the best way to find out when new videos are posted. And if you're already one of the 6,000 and growing subscribers of the Fab4Archivist channel, thank you so much. Postscript. So Lewison recounted his story a couple of times around 2013, always saying it was the London Times that first linked the joke to Lennon, who, quote, famously said it. For this video, I wanted to find that actual Times article, but I came up short. Nothing in the London Times archives, going back as early as July 1985, mentions John Lennon saying this about Ringo Starr, famously or otherwise. I'll give Lewison the benefit of the doubt and say it's possible that the Times published something before 1985, but I think it's also possible that Lewison got the source incorrect. For example, here's an article from another paper, The Independent, dated July 6, 2000. When Lennon was asked to respond to allegations that Ringo was not the best drummer in the world, he famously replied, "Ringo's not even the best drummer in the Beatles." And before this, other UK papers mentioned the joke. For instance, The Sun wrote about it in 1996 and 1999. Lots of papers, lots of quotes. But the potential discrepancy, while small, is clear. So that's what I'd love your help with. Did Lewison misremember the source? Or did the London Times actually report this quote was said by Lennon and I've missed it? If you have access to the London Times archives, especially pre-1985, let me know in the comments if you can help and what you find. I'll update the description if we get to the bottom of things. All right, that's it for this one. See y'all next time.